You can also view your specific sample ballot on harrisvotes.com. You can simply put your name and or address in the sample ballot or find your vote center tab. And once you do that, it pulls up what you will see on your specific ballot. Of course, everyone in Harris County will have the statewide constitutional amendments. But look, if you live in Congressional District 18, where there's been no representation, it's really good to make sure that you go and look at the candidates. There are a lot of candidates in that race to do your homework. City of Houston at large, and if you're in different areas like City of Baytown or Jersey Village, there could very well be Cy-Fair school board elections. Make sure that when you're making your plan to vote, you have your acceptable forms of ID. And if you qualify to vote by mail, the deadline to apply to vote by mail is this Friday, October the 24th. If you apply and qualify to vote by mail, the deadline is October the 24th. So again, your vote matters. We want to make sure that voters are aware an election is going on and that we want you to get out to early vote. It's easy, it's simple, and you have 12 whole days to do it. Are there any questions? Yeah, so the question is in regard to the 17 state constitutional amendments and why it is so important to voters. After every legislative session, in odd years in the state of Texas, there are always state constitutional amendments. You can guarantee yourself that those state constitutional amendments is going to have something to do with your taxpayer dollars, right? Whether it's property taxes, homestead exemptions. There are many items on those state constitutional amendments that have to do with schools and how we operate in everyday life. So again, those state constitutional amendments, although they can be long and reading and understanding, make sure you know what for or against truly means. Part of that is going to harrisvotes.com, reading through that, doing your homework. You can even take a piece of paper just like this and mark up, make your notes, and take it inside the polling location with you. Now, you can't use your cell phone device, obviously, while you're in the poll to vote, but you can take written materials. But again, those state constitutional amendments are going to impact us immediately going into the next couple of years. So 17 is quite a bit, and you have plenty of time to study, have your documents ready to go when you go cast those ballots. You're a taxpayer, which we all are here in the state of Texas. Those measures are really important. As county clerk, we just get you out to vote. But if you're asking, how do I get a better understanding of those constitutional amendments? How do I better understand what for or against means? There are many nonpartisan platforms that provide shorter summaries of those, like the League of Women Voters, or some of the local political parties might have voter guides. I know many of the media outlets have voter guides. The Houston Chronicle. So there are ways that you can go study and get a better understanding as to what each amendment actually means. Thank you. Yes, please. Yes. So any voters that are concerned about their voter registration, simply go to hctax.net. Now, I am not the voter registrar. Our voter registrar here in Harris County is Annette Ramirez. Her and her team have been working day and night to make sure that voter registrations are up to date. And as of this morning, all voters who have been eligible to vote has had no issues with getting through the system and casting their ballot. So again, for questions, you can contact our voter registrar, but that team has been working day and night. If you're not sure, you can go to hctax.net and simply put in your information there to check your voter registration status. And if you're not sure, you can also call their office to be prepared. And look, if you come to a polling location and something is going on there, our office is prepared to also call the voter registrar to support every single voter. Voters should know, if you qualify to vote, you're registered, you will have an opportunity to cast your ballot in this election. No hiccups so far this morning. We are smooth sailing, right? Part of the messaging for this election, we continue to say your vote matters because people are not running to the polls like they do in a presidential, right? But this is an election where we really should be paying attention. I'm a mother, and for parents who, are taxpayers and have students in school, you want to pay attention to those state constitutional amendments. They're really important. But all of our polls opened up on time. Some have voted, more than others. There's 70 locations, more than enough. So no excuses, Harris County voters that are watching this right now. Go cast your ballot. Don't say, oh, I'll wait, and then it's the last day of early voting. If you want to do that, that's great. But 12 whole days, including a weekend, this Saturday and Sunday. So no hiccups, no concerns. And look, if something comes up, because there is no such thing as a flawless election. If something comes up, we have technical individuals in the field. We have dispatch units all over the place to be able to address it in real time. But our teams work really hard day and night. And you should know in Harris County, we're the third largest in the nation, but the largest in the state of Texas. So we don't wave a magic wand in August and then elections just pop up and happen, right? We started working on this immediately after the last presidential election last November. So 9 to 12 months to prepare for every November election. Do me a favor, and when you go cast your ballot with an election worker, please tell them thank you, because without 12 to 15,000 election workers every November here in Harris County, elections simply would not work. So thank you for that question. Yes. That's right. So I think the discussion is around, well, I know the discussion is around redistricting. We all know that this legislative session led to 2 special sessions, and on the agenda was redistricting. It just so happened that Harris County was a part of that agenda in a very big way. So not just Congressional District 18, but a couple of other congressional districts will have new lines. Now, as of this November, where the CD 18 or Congressional District 18 race is taking place, those lines have not changed. They are the same as they have been for several election cycles in the last. So those who are coming to vote should know those changes will not take place until 2026. If you live and have been registered in CD 18, you will be able, and I believe it's 16 candidates. So this is why I'm saying go do your homework, because if you're trying to figure it out, it might take you a little bit of time. So this election, the maps have not changed. They remain the same. If there is a runoff, the maps will also stay the same. But the changes to those maps will not be until 2026 for Congressional District 18. We also mentioned the City of Houston at-large 4 has a special election that has a good list of candidates in that race as well. City of Houston at-large 4 is all those who reside and are registered within the city limits. So for instance, just because you have a Houston listed on your address doesn't mean you're in the city limits, right? There's parts of Houston, Harris County that's unincorporated. So if you're in the city of Houston city limits, you'll see the city at large 4 position, but that's a really important race to pay attention to. And then there are many others as well. Harris County is a melting pot of cities and jurisdictions across this great county. And so everything from Cy-Fair to Katy to Jersey Village to Pasadena, they all have some sort of local elections, whether it's school board or entities. So make sure you visit harrisvotes.com and look at your sample ballot just so you can truly know what to expect. Yes, everybody will see the constitutional amendments, but see if there are other important races on your ballot you should prepare for. Yes.
In this contentious political climate, can you tell us about safety and security at the polling booth?
Yes. The comment is in regard to safety and security for elections. So the very first thing I want our constituents to know is that all election officials, whether it's a county clerk, an appointed administrator, or a county clerk that serves in another role, we all follow the Texas Election Code, right? Our accountability measures are not only the Texas Election Code, but the Secretary of State, who's the chief election official of all the counties in the entire state of Texas. So when it comes to safe, secure, number one, our office follows the law. This county clerk follows the law and makes sure that every single thing that we're doing from start to finish for an election is following the code, meeting those parameters and checklists. So you see a good group of people behind me. There's a big group of people behind you as well. While I am the county clerk, it takes a huge village of individuals to make sure that every election is carried out well and smooth. And so voters should know we spend a lot of time preparing, making sure after, like just now, we just finished the legislative session. So there are some bills in law that have become law that have changed some of our processes. Voters won't notice it, but we will know because it is part of our accountability. And so we're working in teams to make sure we're checking off our boxes. Are we in compliance with the new laws? At what time or what measure do we need to check in? And look, there are individuals from the state of Texas that come to observe what we're doing, not just here at election headquarters, but throughout the county at the election vote centers. So we are safe for sure. We're secure and we are efficient. More importantly, we follow the law. I don't get to wake up and say, hey, this is a great idea. Why don't we just do this? Now, I do get to have some fun ideas, but we always do it within the compliance of the law. And Harris County, I like to say we do it big because we're the biggest county. So we always have the most amount of polling locations. We have extended hours for all day of voting. Not all counties have that. And some counties don't need it because they're much smaller and they're more rural. But as much as we can do to expand voting, we do that. I'm proud to say this year I championed with many of my fellow colleagues across the state to preserve countywide voting, where you can go anywhere during early voting and election day. We passed resolutions across the state of Texas. Our commissioners court here in Harris County voted all to, no matter their political bias or what side of the aisle they're on, all voted that countywide voting was good for voters as a whole. And so that's what people will see from me as the county clerk, is advocating for all voters, no matter what your political ideologies are, is that we make it available for everyone in the process. So thank you for that very thoughtful question. And look, you should know this is just the first day of early voting. We have many more days to go until we get to election day. And as those days unfold, our office from start to finish every morning, yes, voting's from 7 to 7. We're starting from 5 a.m. and sometime not closing to 9 or later. So we're around the clock operation, making sure that we're compliant, but most importantly, that we're serving the voters of Harris County well. Thank you. All right, so your vote matters. Please go out to vote, cast your ballot in this local election that will impact you from your particular precinct and area up to the entire state of Texas. 17 state constitutional amendments. Boy, that's a mouthful. 17 state constitutional amendments are so important to our great state. So make sure that you show up, make your voice heard, and impact local politics. Go to harrisvotes.com for everything that you need to know. You can also follow us on our social media tabs at Harris Votes. Our team is constantly updating how many people have cast their ballot today, and we're going to show you there's never enough folks in Harris County voting on one given day. So go out to vote, share that information, and visit harrisvotes.com. Thank you for your time.
You've been listening in to Harris County Clerk Tanisha Hudspeth urging you to go out to vote. It starts today, but leading up to the big election on November 4th.
And you can talk about all the details they've been going over for the last, he says, since the last presidential election last November, they've been working on getting ready. So, trying to head off any issues. And I was really moved when she said, you know what, it takes 12 to 15,000 volunteers at these polling places. You don't realize how many people give up their time to do this, in addition to people going and voting. So that's just fantastic. She was saying, if you have a chance, thank them for that.
And historically, outside of a presidential election, for an election like this, it doesn't seem like, people are wrapped around the building on election day. But regardless, if you have ever early voted, it makes it so much easier. You're probably not going to wait at all. I love that. I mean, if you're a busy person, you can just go in and out, get it over with, get that the sticker and wear it with pride that you voted, and you'll be good to go. Make a difference in our community.
Yeah, you got 12 days, incling the weekend, as she pointed out. So, if
got
you
plenty of
go
time
get it done.
Get her done, especially in Texas.
And we're gonna take a break. We'll be back with much more right after this.
Rise and shine, up and at 'em.
back to HTX at 10. Hey, Texans fans, you better prepare to stay up late tonight. I can't believe what time this game starts. I'm so sad. I'm not going to get to watch it. Are you going to start watching at 9?
I know.
That's my
But I
bedtime.
know some anchors around here, some early morning people that will anyway.
Oh,
they will anyway.
We're going to need extra coffee tomorrow.
Yeah. Seahawks they're going to play the Seahawks in Seattle at 9 this evening.
9.
You
It
have to feel
starts
bad-
at 9.
You have to feel bad for the players, too, because they travel and they're always in different time zones, and then they do these late games. I'm
So
like,
they're playing
I
till
can't
midnight
start-
our time.
I can't start playing a football game at 9 o'clock at night.
It's crazy.
Well, we want to know how you're feeling about this matchup. Do you think the Texans are going to take it? Head on over to fox26houston.com. You can vote right now under the Tell 26 tab, or you can just scan this QR code right there.
There it is.
Down there.
Positive comments only.
Yeah.
And you can't vote unless you say yes, they're going to win.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But a bunch of them are, because the yeses are taking it.
I love how the yes, there are more yeses than nos at this point.
Yeah.
Let's keep them coming in.
Do we
We need some positive energy.
do we almost
We're a
have
little-
Texans
yeah,
colors
we're
on?
close.
Yeah.
We're close. I need to be a little
See,
more
we-
in the red hue.
Yeah,
but
we
we're
won't
there.
stay up, but we're with you.
Nate the Great has been having fun conversations this morning with both sides of the aisle in a bit. Hey.
Heather,
Yeah.
how y'all doing?
Good.
Look, you guys don't have to stay up late tonight. I got these guys here staying up late tonight. You don't have to worry. We're covered, okay? Yeah, we're covered. This guy, Salvatore Ferragamo, no, I'm just kidding. Look at it. He's flexing.
He's saying I'm flexing over here. I'm not.
Why are you flexing? The great J.J. Moses, former Houston Texans returner wide receiver out of Iowa State. And this young man right here happens to be from my hometown of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He has a Super Bowl ring that he won with the New England Patriots. Also played his JC ball in Mississippi at Pearl River Junior College. No longer is it called that, I don't think, right? They still call it that?
Yes, it's still called that.
Okay. And he played his college ball in Louisiana Monroe. Okay, but you were drafted by the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about that first. We got plenty of time now. We can kind of stretch out a little bit.
All right.
Because I also got to talk about Texas A&M. I got to talk about the University of Houston. They're now bowl eligible.
Yes, sir.
I got to talk about Texas.
Okay.
They won over the weekend, barely, beating Kentucky in overtime. I got to talk about Texas Southern. Chris Dishman, former Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
3-3 now on the season.
3-3.
Prairie View won. Oh, we got a lot of winning going on.
Got
here.
some winning going on.
We got a lot of winning going on here. But let's talk about the Texans. They play tonight, Monday Night Football. I'm going to start with you. We talked about some things that you and I need to talk about right now. I need you to bring those things up.
Yes. So I think, first of all, Nate.
First of all,
the Texans have to be aware of Sam Darnold. I mean, he's playing lights out, the quarterback from Seattle. I think he's, of course, being able to make those type of plays that he's doing. He led his team, of course, when he was with the Minnesota Vikings last year, so now he's with Seattle. So I think this defense with our Houston Texans, they have to come prepared like they always do. You know, the NFL, the Texans, they have the #1 rated defense within the National Football League. So, Nate, I think overall, the important part of the element is, can this team continue to have momentum as they're going into Seattle? They won the last 2 games against the Titans and then, of course, with Baltimore. But both of those teams, they're at a decline, so to speak. You know, they're not really playing well. And so we're trying to get a pulse on who are the Houston Texans for the 2025 season. But it all starts with the play of C.J. Stroud. We knew C.J. put up some points against the Titans, 26 points. And then, of course, Larry, he put up some points against the Baltimore Ravens. Yes. But again, both of those teams, it's a give or take right now. So I'm optimistic right now. Who will be the Texans for tonight's game?
Okay, great analysis. I have one question. What does Sam Darnold do well?
First of all, what does he do well? He's an experienced quarterback. He's 28 years old, so he brings this veteran leadership. And to be honest with you, and if you look at tonight's games, my friends, he's not going to throw too many interceptions. That's his key to success, is being able to hold on to the ball and not making mistakes. And if C.J. Stroud, Nate, can get used to this mindset of hold on to the ball, making those decisive passes, but throwing no interceptions, that's going to be the key. Not only for C.J. Stroud during this game, but also as he's getting ready for the contract season of being able to protect the ball. That's the key for the Houston Texans.
Okay,
let's
great
go.
Analysis. Great analysis. I like that. Larry, Mr. Wiggum, I know you can break down the defense for us.
All right.
You already know about the Seattle defense. You also know about the Texans defense.
Yes, sir.
Where you gonna start first?
I started Seattle first.
I figured the team that drafted you.
Well, yes, that started it off. But the Seattle defensive line, the front four, they're creating pressure without blitzing. Anytime you can do that, it's going to be a tough sled on the offense. If you can't run the football on them, it's going to be tough because they can pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. But what I do like about the Texans is they have a package of guys that can really get after the quarterback. And Sam Darnold, I think, is at his best when he can play action pass and sit back in the pocket and be comfortable. But if you watch how the Minnesota Vikings lost the playoff game last year, if you add pressure to Sam Darnold, you give yourself a good chance to get off the field. And so I think both defenses are going to play good ball tonight, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. 7-point victory. I got the Texans.
You got the Texans.
Okay, so you have the Texans winning tonight. Okay, so let me ask you a question. When you were in New England, your head coaches were?
Bill Parcells, Pete Carroll, and Bill Belichick.
Hall of Fame.
Three of the best. Hall of Fame coaches this guy played for. Okay, so I want to ask you something.
Let's go.
When you were with the Texans, who's your head coach? Or coaches?
Charlie Cashley was our general manager, and then we had, of course, our head coach. Guess who he was?
Oh, I know who it was.
Who was it?
Tell me.
Tell me.
No,
Cool.
I asked you the
No,
question.
it wasn't Cool. I'm a little bit young. I'm a little bit older than Cool.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
okay.
slightly.
Okay.
His guy went to Green Bay for a little.
That's right.
For a little while.
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell him who it was.
He was a great coach, Nate, and I love him.
Wanna call his
But
name?
I'm gonna tell. Go ahead and call his name. I'm gonna tell you this. Who my favorite coach was, though? If you were to ask me who my favorite coach was, I had Dick Vermeil.
Yeah.
And then you can't never go wrong with a Dick Vermeil. And I think overall, that was a coach that really gave me that opportunity when I was with the Kansas City Chiefs. So for me, I didn't have a lot of legendary coaches, but Dick Vermeil has always been a coach that believed in the underdogs. He was a coach that really helped out Kurt Warner and gave him an opportunity when he was with the St. Louis Rams and all that. So
Okay, very quickly before we get out of here, we got to talk about Texas wins. They barely beat Kentucky 16-13. I don't know what they're thinking about at the station, but Terrian is there. She went to Texas. Texas A&M barely wins also, but Texas A&M is undefeated on the season. Love the way they're playing. Congratulations to the University of Houston Cougars. They're now 6-1 and bowl eligible, and Texas Southern has won 3 games in a row. Chris Dishman really gotten that team to a winning season, 4-3 now. And Prairie View also, they are 5-2. Wow, they're playing some really, really good football now. So there you have it. If you have any questions, Terrian, go ahead and shoot them. I got a couple of guys who can answer.
Hi, look who's here. It's Terrian. Hey.
Guys, that game on Saturday was a very hard watch as a Texas fan. We did come out with a win, which was obviously exciting. We always love to do that. But I do want to say we did not play at our best compared to how we played against OU last week. Like OU, I fear, after that game, we were like, okay, we're building up momentum. We're doing pretty good offensively. Defense was doing great. This game, it was like completely went back to where we were weeks ago with the play calls. But yeah, I think the highlights for me out of that game were Niblett on the punt returns. Amazing punt returner, in my opinion. He did great on Saturday. But yeah, it was a lot of bad calls, in my opinion.
I thought it would be more of a blowout, I have to
I
admit.
did.
I'm obviously a fan since my son goes to UT,
What-
but
what-
I was disappointed in the win, which is
Yeah.
weird to say, right? It's
It was
like,
like
it
was
should have been a
win.
bigger win.
It was a win, but it was like a hard win. It was like a tough watch
Yeah.
win. Like I
Were
went
you
home.
yelling at the TV the whole time?
Oh yeah, I was yelling at the TV. There was this guy behind me at the watch party, like he was going off, and so we were just like, oh, yeah. So it was a very
I gotta tell you
the
something.
atmosphere there was hard.
All right, Nate, what were you thinking?
So let me tell you something, just so you understand. It's hard to win a college football game,
Yeah.
especially
That's fair.
on the road. When you are playing in your conference, Kentucky is an SEC team. Believe me, it's not easy for Texas to go there and win. They won in overtime. I agree, they should be better, but they won in overtime. So take it as a win.
Yeah.
Okay?
He wants us to be more
Hopefully they'll play
appreciative.
better.
Take the
We'll take it.
I'll take it.
It's
Don't get
hard
me
to win
wrong.
on the road.
It was just stressful, Nate. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be fun to watch your team, not stressful.
As a fan, it hurts.
I can tell she knows her sports.
I was
I can tell
stressed
you
to the
know your sports.
max.
I already know. We've had a conversation before, and as you can tell, did you know 50% of NFL fans are women? And I can tell by what Heather and Melissa's wearing today. They're already they're ready for the game, man. They got their game time face. Look at them. They're game ready, Nate.
We're ready.
Don't get no better than this,
We're
baby.
so ready.
I know they're
I'm
fired
ready,
up.
man.
They're fired up. They're fired
Yeah,
up.
pretty cool, isn't it?
Let's go.
They're high tech out there. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Terry and I always get to talk to my fellow UT
You know, and I have to tell
fan.
you, so we're not going to do it now, but Terry and I meet in the break room and we talk about The Summer I Turned Pretty, because it's a very popular series, really for people much younger than I
I was
am.
going to say, I hadn't heard about it. And I was going to say, the summer you turn pretty, you've had to always be pretty. I'm behind the times. That's a series?
I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
But it's a great series, and Terry and I love to talk about it. But
that's
we'll
fun.
save that for another show. We'll do a debrief.
We're going to have to take a break so you can
Yeah.
fill me in and see if
We
I need
will.
to be
Yeah.
watching
You need
this.
to watch it.
Please.
Yeah.
Netflix?
Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon Prime. Okay, so we got some splaining to do.
We'll be back with the president after this.
Tell me more.
Rise and shine. Up and at 'em.
We're getting a sneak peek of what's going on with the president. He's busy at the White House this morning.
Yeah, they've had a lunch. The Prime Minister of Australia is there. They just wrapped up speaking, but he's answering questions now, so let's listen in.
Australia will get the virus.
Oh, it's getting. Oh, no, they're getting.
Mr. President,
At least 32 people have been killed. In those
Excuse me, you're next.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
China's bad behavior has really only gotten worse since the AUKUS partnership was formed. With that in mind, is the door open for Australia to get additional nuclear-powered submarines or other military capabilities not already in the deal?
I think China's been very respectful of us. They're paying tremendous amounts of money to us as in the form of tariffs. As you know, they're paying 55%. That's a lot of money. They never were paying anything over years and years and years. But they were like anybody else. A lot of countries took advantage of the U.S. They're not taking advantage anymore. No, China's paying 55% and a potential 155% come November 1st unless we make a deal. And I'm meeting with President Xi. We have a very good relationship. We're going to be meeting in South Korea in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what we can do. We have a very good relationship with China, but it's been probably a little bit like your relationship with China. They try and take advantage, but most countries do. I mean, I can say the European Union took advantage, but not anymore. We worked out a very fair trade deal. Japan, we worked out a very fair deal. South Korea, where I'll be meeting President Xi, we worked out a very fair deal. And I expect we'll probably work out a very fair deal with President Xi of China. So most of you will be with us. It's going to be very exciting. And I think we're going to work out something that's good for both countries.
Are you at least interested in expediting the nuclear-powered subs to Australia?
Well, we are doing that, yeah. We're doing that. We have them moving very, very quickly.
Mr. President, I don't think you've ever been to Australia. Have you thought about coming to Australia and trying out some of the golf courses?
I would, and I actually have been to Australia, and I did play one of your great golf courses. They have great golf courses there. But I have been to Australia, actually.
Would you come again?
Oh, I would. In fact, I've been invited to go, and
Indeed.
I'll have to give it serious consideration. No, it's a real possibility.
Did the Prime Minister invite you today?
He did.
And perhaps we could time it, must be said, with the President's Cup that Australia hosts as well.
When is the President's Cup?
We'll organise a time suitable for you, Mr. President.
Please, in the back, please. Yeah, in the back, please.
Yeah, Mr. President, the Prime Minister mentioned that there's a trade imbalance that's very heavily in America's favour. Why does America slap such heavy tariffs on a friend and ally?
Well, we don't,
Australia?
yeah. Well, we do in some cases. We do in many cases because we've been treated unfairly. But actually, the tariffs are very light. The one thing is you buy a lot of airplanes, so that helps because you buy a lot of the beautiful Boeings, the best of the Boeings. And by the way, Boeing is really doing well. They have lots of orders, and they're really doing a great job. They make a great plane. But Australia, because of its location, which is great, but one of the things dictated by that location is you have to order a lot of airplanes. So I guess we have that advantage. They need a lot of airplanes in Australia, and that gives us a little bit of an advantage.
Mr. President, yeah, your Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, in his Shangri-La speech in, I think it was May, warned about the potential likelihood or threat of President Xi ordering an invasion of Taiwan. 2027 is also the year that Fleet Base West is supposed to start rotating those US and UK submarines. Do you see AUKUS as a deterrent for China in the Indo-Pacific?
Yeah, I do. I think it is, but I don't think we're going to need it. I think we'll be just fine with China. China doesn't want to do that. First of all, the United States is the strongest military power in the world by far. It's not even close. Not even close. We have the best equipment. We have the best of everything, and nobody's going to mess with that. And I don't see that at all with President Xi. I think we're going to get along very well as it pertains to Taiwan and others. Now, that doesn't mean it's not the apple of his eye, because probably it is, but I don't see anything happening. We have a very good trade relationship. We're going to have a very good, I think when we leave South Korea, it could be wrong, but I think we'll end up with a very strong trade deal. Both of us will be happy. No, I don't see that happening, no.
Mr. President, given the trade surplus that the US enjoys with Australia, would you consider lifting the tariffs that you've imposed on Australia? And can you give us any details about the critical...
Yeah, well, the tariffs have been amazing because, tariffs have been really a reason that I was able to settle almost all of the, I've settled 8 wars in 8 months. Not bad. I have one more to go. It's Russia, Ukraine, and I think we'll get there, but it's turned out to be nasty because you have 2 leaders that truly hate each other. You can't have it all, right? They hate each other beyond all else, and it makes it actually a little bit difficult. But
you've been listening to President Trump as he meets with the Australian Prime Minister. They obviously have a whole lot to talk about, discussing certainly economics at the top of their list, among many other things.
Yeah, he's answering questions from the press now about tariffs. Not only the Australian press was asking about tariffs being levied against Australia, they're also talking about a partnership in building submarines. But he's now talking about answering questions about tariffs with China and his outlook on trying to find a resolution there. So that's still, being debated, and we'll keep you posted on what happens with that.
Always watch the very latest on Fox Local. Hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for being here with us on HTX at 10. Forecasting with Friends is next.
Rise and shine. Up and at 'em.